Hey, what's up guys? Big Nass here with a Star Wars X-Wings miniatures unboxing video. So first couple of channel announcements. For you people coming here from, if you've subscribed to me in the past, obviously this is not a Magic related video. And I haven't really posted anything in the last 3 years. So the reason for that is I don't play Magic anymore. So the main games I play now are this game and Netrunner. You can actually see Netrunner playmat underneath here. So if you're interested in that sort of content, then please stay subscribed. Otherwise, there's not going to be any Magic content coming up anytime soon, as you probably guessed. But if you're interested in more content for X-Wing or perhaps Netrunner as well, then please feel free to subscribe and then give me comments. I might produce some more videos in the future. I also apologize for the quality of this video. I'm recording this with my cell phone because I don't have an actual proper camera. I mean, as you longtime Big Nass fans know that all my other videos are just like screen caps or whatnot. So, alright, so let's dive right into this unboxing. So, for those of you wondering how I got my hands on this not yet released product, so our local TO here went to Gen Con, picked up a whole bunch of Wave 9 stuff, and he ran a tournament, and I did well in that tournament, and one of the prizes, so I got a Shadowcaster as a prize. So pretty stoked about that. This is definitely the ship I am most excited for out of Wave 9. And it's actually the ship that makes me actually excited to fly Scum. Because prior to Wave 8, the only viable Scum lists were like 4 TLT Y-Wings or Brobots, or some combination of the two. There really wasn't any variety in squad lists for Scum. But Wave 9 changed that somewhat with the Jump Masters, but again, there's still not a whole lot of variety, but I think this expansion is really going to open things up, and to a lesser extent also the Tank Fighter. Alright, so let's dive right in. I've already opened the box, as you can see, just because I'm doing that while holding my cell phone in my other hand is going to be a little problematic, so if you don't like it, well, too bad. So let's actually take a look at the model first. So we can actually, it's pretty good detail on this model. So for those of you wondering where the Shadowcaster is from, it's from the show Star Wars Rebels, which is actually a really good show. I recommend it. It's I don't really like Clone Wars, but Star Wars Rebels I think is a huge improvement from Clone Wars. And I'm digging it quite a lot. Like I couldn't even get through the first season of Clone Wars, but Rebels I like right off the bat. So it has an interesting design. It's kind of Star Trek-y in terms of what it looks like, because it has kind of like the twin nacelle design. Obviously, Star Trek ships are not going to have this many gun turrets, but it's neat. It's got a nice paint job here that you can see, and it's got some turrets on the top. And all right, so enough looking at the model. Back on there, a little varmint. Alright, so let's take a look at the upgrade cards first. So let's make some room here. So first card is Veteran Instincts, which everyone's seen before. That originally came in like, what was it, Wave 1 with the Millennium Falcon. It might have been Wave 2, I don't know. I wasn't playing at that time, so I have no idea what wave is when, but this card's been with us for ages, so we'll just move on. Next card is IG-88D. So this is a very exciting card. Let me just frame this up a bit. Alright, so we can see that it is a crew card. It's unique. So it's 1 point, and it's Scum only, and you have the pilot ability of each friendly ship with the IG-2000 upgrade card. So I love this card. This card is, I think it really opens up the aggressor for more varied builds. So the unfortunate thing is that it doesn't really work that well with this ship. I'll get into that a little bit later, but other ships that can take this card, like for instance the YV-666, that really opens things up. So you can actually have like an aggressor and a YV, or perhaps you can pair it up with Zuckuss' ship. I forget whatever it's called. And it's there's quite a lot of things you can do now with aggressors, rather than being locked into, oh, I'm just going to run Brobots, or I'm going to run one aggressor and then a couple Y-Wings or whatever, which is a lot less common. So I think this is really neat. You have the pilot ability of each friendly ship with the IG 2000 upgrade card. So obviously you're not going to be able to pair this with the IG-88D pilot because it's unique. So the three abilities we're looking at are the IG-88A, which lets you recover a shield after you destroy a ship. IG-88B, which lets you shoot with a cannon after you miss. And IG-88C, which lets you get a free evade after boosting. Especially the cannon and the boost abilities, depending on whether you want to take engine upgrade on your other ships, is going to be pretty handy. So I'm really excited to see what people do with this card. So moving on, next card is another crew card. It's Ketsu Onyo. So that is another 1-point crew card. It's also unique, scum only as well. And at the start of the end phase, you may choose one enemy ship inside your firing arc at range 1 to 2. That ship does not remove its tractor beam tokens. That is just huge. Like, tractor beams so far have just been a minor annoyance. Like, yeah, you stick it on a TIE Defender, and it's like, yeah, okay, I'll get my free shot with my tractor beam or whatever. But now, you're just going to be able to like track to lock people. This is going to be amazing. I mean, there is a significant drawback there where it has to be inside your firing arc. But with some fancy flying, you're going to be able to proc this, and the ships that really depend on their agility this is going to be killer against them. So I definitely think this card's going to see some play. All right, so let's moving on. Next is another crew card. Here we have Lats Razzie. Again, it's unique, and again, it's scum only, coming in at 2 squad points. And when defending, you may remove 1 stress token from the attacker to add 1 evade result to your roll. Again, this is pretty handy. It's definitely very situational because you're not always going to run into ships that are going to have stress. I mean, of course, you have stress mechanics that you can use. You can give your opponent stress tokens, but I think this card is at its best against builds that really stack a lot of stress tokens on their own ships. Like for instance, like the Dengaroo builds or like a stress bot or something like that. So that way, anytime you're defending, you just get a free evade against those ships. Which, especially with the low agility ships, like for instance the YV666, is going to be very, very handy. Okay, next. So here we get 2 copies of this card. So let's put one over here. And here we have Black Market Slicer Tools. This is an illicit upgrade. It costs 1 point. And the ability is you get an action, choose a stressed enemy ship at range 1 to 2, and roll 1 attack die. On a hit or a crit, remove 1 stress token and deal it a face down damage card. I think there's been a lot of buzz about this card. It's like, oh, it's going to kill Soontir or whatever. I think it's good. I'm not. I mean, it's hardly a Soontir killer. I mean, smart Soontir players will know how to play around this. So if you have like a spare point and you're not using your listed slot, then it's not terrible. But you are giving up your action for a 50-50 shot at dealing a damage card. So that's not. Sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's not. So I don't know, what can you really expect from a 1 point? Alright, so next, here we have Rigged Cargo Chute. This is another new card. So this is for large ship only, and it's an illicit, it's another illicit upgrade. And it gives you an action to discard this card to drop 1 cargo token. So I'm just going to quickly show you what the cargo token looks like. Here is the punch card. So let's actually just punch it out right now. Boop. So what this is a debris token. So you can actually see there's the nubs there that I'm zooming in on. And I assume it just follows the same rules as dropping. So you're going to grab the 1-4 template, and you're going to stick one end here and the other end on the back of your ship, and you're basically just leaving a debris field. So that's neat. We haven't really, up until this wave, we haven't seen any sort of not any sort of like obstacle, what's the right word? Obstacle manipulation, I guess would be the right word. So we're starting to see that with Rigged Cargo Chute, which that adds new obstacles. And in one of the other expansions, there's the Seismic Torpedoes, which removes obstacles and also deals damage. So just another way of interacting with the board, which is kind of neat. And this is actually this is a pretty big size debris field. I think it's like on par with like the larger ones. So if you want to clutter up the board with debris, then that's definitely an option for you. It does take up your illicit slot, and it is kind of a one-shot. Like, you're not going to be able to drop multiple cargoes, unless, of course, you have multiple copies of this card. But again, it's 1 point, so you can't really expect a whole lot. Alright, so the next card here is Countermeasures. We've seen this before. I believe it's in the YT2400 expansion. And this card is starting to see a little bit more play now with the Dengaru build, so since this is an existing card, I'm not gonna get into it here. Alright, our next card is Gyroscopic Targeting. So this is for this ship only, and it takes up your modification slot. And at the end of the combat phase, if you executed a 3, 4, or 5 speed maneuver this round, you may rotate your mobile firing arc. I think this will be a pretty decent option here. So the only real drawback to this card is that it's taking up your modification slot. So especially with the big ships, you really want to have the boost action. So the ships that don't have native boost, like this one, you're probably going to want to taking engine upgrade more often than not, but sometimes you don't want to. The engine upgrade is only really worth it on the higher pilot skill ships, and this just gives you another really strong option for that slot. And especially if you have a lot of shenanigans based around your mobile firing arc, then go for it. So I think it'll see some limited play. Like, I don't think it's an auto include by any stretch, but in the right build, it can definitely do a lot of work. Okay. We also get 2 copies of Tactical Jammer. So this is an existing card. I forget which expansion it comes in. I think it might be the Lambda Shuttle. I'm not sure, but it just lets you obstruct enemy attacks at the large ship. So, and then the last upgrade card here is the Shadowcaster title card. So this is a 3-point title card. After you perform an attack that hits, if the defender is inside your mobile firing arc and at range 1 and 2, you may assign the defender 1 tractor beam token. So this is pretty neat. So you get the tractor beam without actually having to use the tractor beam card, which is nice because the tractor beam cannon doesn't do any damage. So unless you're getting multiple attacks like a TIE Defender with the TIE D title, you get a huge opportunity cost for using the tractor beam cannon. So this is another way to get that tractor beam effect without wasting your attack. So this is pretty neat, and then if you combine that with the Ketsu Onyo crew card, then definitely lead to some shenanigans here. So this is definitely a ship that is based around using your mobile firing arc as well as doing lots of shenanigans with the tractor beam. Okay, so let's get to the ship cards. Probably should have done this first, but whatever. If you don't like it, too bad. All right, so here, so we're going to do. So this is the top skilled pilot for this ship is Ketsu Onyo, and just before we get into the pilot abilities, let's go over the stat line. So here we have it is a 3 attack die ship, 2 agility, 7 hull, and 3 shields. So it's pretty good. I mean, it is an expensive ship. I mean, Ketsu Onyo comes in at 38 points, but it's a pretty durable ship. I mean, you're definitely paying for it. And here we have the action bar. You have a focus and target lock, which is pretty standard. It gets the evade action, which is very nice to have. And you also get this twirly thing, which just lets you move your mobile firing arc. Okay, so and then we're also going to take a look at the upgrade slot down here. So each ship is going to have 1 crew and 2 illicit slots. So I believe this is the first ship in the game that has 2 illicit slots. So it'll be interesting to see what people come up with as far as illicit combinations. Okay, so let's take a look at Ketsu's ability. So that's the start of the combat phase. You may choose a ship at range 1. If it is inside your primary and mobile firing arcs, assign 1 tractor beam token to it. So again, this is a ship that's all about getting those tractor beam tokens on. So it's especially if you can. So she does have the elite pilot skill, so you can bump her up to a 9. And then if you give her like an engine upgrade so engine upgrade to kind of move around to get within range 1, or you can just move your mobile fire arc after every other ship is moved. So there's a pretty good chance you can actually trigger this ability. So and then giving your tractor beam tokens before you shoot that's going to be great. So I really think this is a strong enough ability, and it's at the right kind of pilot skill level where it's actually it's a choice between running this version of Ketsu, or running the Ku version. I think they're both quite strong. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Here we have Sage Ventress. So same upgrade options. She's coming in at 37 points, which is one less than Ketsuo Ono. And her ability is, at the start of the combat phase, you may choose a ship at range 1 to 2. If it's inside your mobile firing arc, assign 1 stress token to it. So this is, it's going to be harder to use because of the lower pilot skill, but still, there's going to be a lot of situations where you're just going to be able to fly around and just give stress to people. So it's definitely another pretty strong ability. Again, this is not a cheap ship by any stretch of the imagination, so you would expect the abilities to actually to be half decent. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. And here we have Sabine. So Sabine, I think, might be the first named pilot that's in more than one faction. I could be wrong about that, but she definitely has a different ability than what she has in Rebels. So her ability is, when defending against an enemy ship inside your mobile firing arc at range 1 to 2, you made a focus result to your roll. So it's a neat little defensive ability. I'm not sure how great that is. She does come in at 35 points, which is 3 points cheaper than Ketsu. So I'm not sure how really good that is. It's definitely going to be better against, like, let's say you have like a recon spec. It'll be good for that because especially if you have more than one ship shooting at you and you can proc the ability multiple times, you're more likely to be able to get to use it. So that's going to be better than the evade token. But if you're defending against only a single ship, or if you're not sure where your mobile arc is going to end up, well, obviously you're going to know where your mobile arc is going to end up, but if you're not sure if your opponents are going to be in your mobile firing arc, then the evade token is just going to be a better defensive option. Now, the one thing to note is that this it doesn't require an action. So you could, for instance, take a target lock and then somehow like you get assigned evade tokens from somewhere else. I mean, that's definitely can happen. But I don't know. I think this is it's a very situational ability. You're more going to take this just because you're not going to have enough points to fill out the others in those sorts of situations. Sabine also doesn't have an EPT, which it's kind of a drag. Oh, so moving on to the next card, and here we have our generic. So here it is a Shadowport Hunter. No EPT, so they might have learned their lesson with the Jumpmaster. I don't know, but it comes in a pilot skill of 2, which is pretty helpful for blocking purposes, and it comes in at a bargain of 33 points. So you get a nice 3-point attack ship that has a mobile firing arc and can survive for quite a long time. So, and you can actually fit 3 of these. I don't think I would recommend it, but it is possible. You can fly 3 pursuit crafts and a 1-point upgrade if you want. That is a possibility. I'm not sure how viable that is, but hey, if you want to buy 3 of these, go for it. Okay, so here is the dial for the ship. So one thing that's going to leap out at most people is this ship has a lot of green on it, and it has a green turn, which is really nice. So if the ship, I mean, unless you're running push to limit, you're probably not going to get stressed that often, but it's having that 3 green turn, I think, is going to be super helpful. And then you also get the 3 banks. So this ship is fast. Like, if you look at it, you got a 5 straight, which is very fast on a big ship. And you also get the 5K turn. So in terms of speed, the ship is very similar to Millennium Falcon. It doesn't have the 1 turn that the Falcon has, and some of the other Scum big ships. Well, not necessarily Scum. I know the IGs have a 1 turn, and that is a very, very handy maneuver to have. But this ship does not go slow. Like, it's got the 1 straight, the 1 banks, but no 1 turns. And all of its green moves, like the slowest one is a 2 forward, and the rest are 3s and 4s. So this has a pretty good dial, and the ship can move if it wants. So That's pretty exciting. And the Omi Red maneuver is that 5K turn. So, I mean, you have pretty much the whole maneuver dial, the whole maneuver template available to you. So the only ones you don't have available are those 1 turns, like I said earlier. But everything else, every other maneuver template in the game is available to you. So that's quite a lot of versatility. Here we have the Pursuit Craft, or the Shadowcaster, whatever you want to call it. I have the mobile firing arc already put on here, and this doesn't. It kind of spins around. It's kind of like a. I kind of expected this to click a bit. I don't know why, but it really just is a hole. It just goes in and it spins around. So basically, I'm not 100% sure where it starts. I'll have to read up. Like maybe there's an FAQ, there's a rules insert, but at some point it's going to be pointing a direction, and then you can spend this rotate action to rotate it. So for instance, here I'm facing this way, and I can shoot that way, but if I have my thing here, then I can also shoot this way. So it's the same firing arc here. So you have kind of, as long as your mobile firing arc isn't also facing forward, you're going to have like 180 degrees of firing arc no matter where you are. So that, what makes this different from other ships that have kind of a different firing arc? So, like for instance, the YV666 also has a 180 degree firing arc, but it's all the way in front. Whereas this is it's optional as to where you want it. So it's gonna be really neat. I'm excited to fly this ship. I'm looking forward to seeing what sort of builds I can come up with. If you have a favorite build, feel free to leave me a comment, and I'll take a look at it. And so yeah, that's all I got. Pretty standard unboxing video. I don't really do many of these videos, but if you want to see more videos like this in the future, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll get to it. And also, so I mentioned this earlier, I can also record Netrunner videos. So it's mostly just playing online on Jinteki.net, but it's whatever you guys want. So I might start posting more content in the future, depending on if people want to see it or not. So, okay, so bye.